Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. So, we're doing some fun stuff tonight, today. So, I discovered this, it's called deep search in ChatGPT. I actually discovered it before, but I didn't actually put it to work. So, what I did right now is just gave him a few pictures of nice sayings in books and just basically tell them go scrape all the internet, find me all the information about it. And here, for the first one, we find out that basically Nigeria, which is a 200 million people country, they basically are the strongest of us all in the entire planet. They have the biggest bone density, muscle fiber type, natural endurance, skin resilience, whatever. They have most of the physical, and they have the biggest athletes. They're Nigerians and whatever. And I checked the biggest places where the best genetics are in Nigeria, which are these places. And then I said, then take these traits and analyze them and just tell me whatever they do in their life to keep these for such a long time, right? So it did 31 minutes. It completed in 31 minutes. It cited 27 sources and it did 105 searches. So basically, he read everything. He made sure it was about what I want. Um, and now he's giving me like a big lecture to read. And we're gonna do the crazy stuff today, and we're gonna read it all and see what new we can find. And I have a few more topics here we're gonna discuss later about them. So yeah, let's just start doing this. So yeah, let's prepare for it. Let's get the reading medicine. Sorry about that. This is not it's fake cigarette. It's prompt. It's prompt for video. Thank you so much. It's active. So, traditional practices for physical vitality in Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa-Fulani, Fulani, and Niger Delta people. So, introduction. Throughout history, the major ethnic groups of what is now Nigeria, the Yoruba of the southwest, Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, and Igbo of the southeast, um, Anambra, Imo, Enugu. Okay, so difficult names. The Hausan-Fulani of the north and the various Nigeria Delta people of the southwest detailed rich traditions to maintain robust physical health. These people were often noted for superior physical attributes, including high bone density, a muscular physique, and strong, fast twitch fibers, exceptional endurance, high metabolic rate, and low obesity, resilient skin, robust health, heart health, and effective ways to manage inflammation. Their traditional lifestyle, from the foods they ate to medicines they used to the physical labors and rituals they practiced, all contribute to these health advantages. In this report, we explore each group traditional foods, plants, physical practices, rituals, and how they relate to specific aspects of physical vitality. The findings are organized by ethnic groups and by the particular trait or aspect of health, which table summarizes key plants and practices. Throughout, we cite authentic sources, including ethnobotanical studies and historical accounts to ensure accuracy and give credit. So we're living some amazing times right now, guys. We are basically the generation that is able to read and fact check anything and like I said, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I have like a long one here, maybe. Yeah, it's still doing it. Takes a little bit longer for some. Okay, so Yeah, but then you basically have everything what's out on the internet on the subject, and then you basically know if it's true or not. So let's do this full topic, full reading, and see what we get for ourselves. And then we're gonna tell ChatGPT to highlight the best plants and foods and whatever we said that we want to know, and to put them in a table so we can print it out and have it at our research. All right, so Yoruba traditional health practices, southwestern Nigeria. The Yoruba people traditionally lived in tropical rainforest and savanna environments, practicing sedentary agriculture. Their lifestyle and diet provided abundant nutrients, and exercise there supported strong bones, powerful muscle, and overall vitality. Yoruba culture also emphasizes herbal medicine and physical activities that enhance endurance and wellness. Below, we detail Yoruba practices by health aspect, so bone density and skeletal strength. So let's see what they do usually for years, because that's what I said, like in history. For because when you have right now the best genetics is not about what your dad or your grandfather ate, is about what a few more generations in the back. So we are interested in the most of historical back in like 500 to 1000 even more years. So calcium rich diet. Yoruba diets traditionally included food that supply calcium and other minerals essential for bones. For example, leafy greens, vegetables, and wild edible herbs are staples in Yoruba soups. Okay, so we have some ideas, yeah, from the beginning. So for leafy greens with calcium in soups, known as efo. Many of these greens, like amartha and gelosia leaves, efo tete or jute malo ewedu, are rich in calcium and magnesium, which strengthen bones. Additionally, Yoruba stew often incorporates small dried fish or crabs that are eaten whole, providing calcium for the bones and shells. Even the preparation of certain dishes added minerals. Yoruba cooks commonly use potash or kaun, alkaline salts from wood ash. Okay, another nice ingredient is kaun, an alkaline salt from a wood ash. We're gonna do some more research. That's why I was saying we're gonna gather all the juicy plants, whatever, and we're gonna do some more research afterwards about where to buy and what to do. Only aids muscle function but also contributes to bone health. So potassium, yeah, traditional potash adds potassium. So right now I think potassium it's hard to get. So yeah, that's why you need whole foods that still have it. And in modern times it's harder to get. So modern analysis notes that adequate potassium intakes, as from potash enhanced food, helps improve bone density and reduce osteoporosis risk. Another traditional calcium source is snail shells and eggshells. So like eggs, I think, in our way, but for them from snails, which Yoruba healers sometimes ground into remedies for bone problems, a practice shared with other tribes. Okay, sunlight and vitamin D. Okay, this is a big one that we in Western society we mostly lack, and we know we need it, and it's kind of like something that we should research more and get some more info about it. So let's see why you're now from this research I get that vitamin D is quite important for Yoruba's people to be powerful. And yeah, living in a sunny climate, Yoruba people naturally obtain plenty of vitamin D through a sun exposure, which facilitates calcium absorption for strong bones. Daily farm work under the sun ensured that even without fortified foods, vitamin D levels supported healthy bone mineralization. So even in periods that you don't have a good diet, if you have vitamin D, you still have bone mineralization. Additionally, fermented foods like algae, fermented corn porridge, and iru, fermented locust beans, provided a healthy gut microbiome, indirectly aiding nutrient absorption, including minerals. So, bone strengthening herbs. Okay, next one. Yoruba indigenous medicine includes remedies specifically for mending and strengthening bones. Traditional bone setters, Oni Segun, treat fractals with splints and pole triches of bone healing plants. All right. One notable example is Sisus quadrangularis, called Agba Kiki in Yoruba, a wine long used to know. I want to add something to know the the African name is important in order to get the plant if you want to buy it from here. There might be chances to buy some of these plants, but you might have to know exactly the technical name and also African name. So, Yoruba healers apply to the crushed sisu stem to fractures or drink it in tonics with plants in known to accelerate bone repair. Another is Peperomia pellucida, called ririn, given as an infusion after a bone fracture to promote recovery. Table 1 below lists some Yoruba's plants used for bones and joints. Okay, so plants should be the case. In this case, we have plants. So I asked the GPT, please give me the best things that Yoruba people have and other people don't still get in their diet. And the first few, is calcium. The second is sun, and the third is the herbs. And yeah, let's see what's next. Weight bearing activities. Weight bearing activity. The Yoruba lifestyle historically involved significant weight bearing exercises, which is crucial for building bone mass. uh, weight bearing means carrying on top. Okay, okay, maybe, yeah, like in the picture. Yoruba lifestyle historically involves significant weight bearing exercises, which is crucial for building bone mass. Women routinely carried heavy loads, water buckets, firewood, wares, balance of their heads from a young age. This practice acts as strength training for the spine and hips. Studies in other African communities show that years of head loading correlate with higher bone mineral density in the lumbar spine. Men and women farmers also manually tilled soil with hoes and carried harvest from the field. These daily activities were essential resistance trainings that involved skeletal strength and density. Modern research confirms that such long life physical labor leads to greater bone density compared to more sedentary lifestyles. Okay, so they lift a lot of things on the top of their head, and then the spine gets worked out. I guess this is good for adults. It's not good for children because it stops growing. So yeah, these type of activities only do if you're adult and if you finish growing. But I'm not a medical advisor, so yeah, I'm just trying to think for myself after ChatGPT made the entire internet research. A woman carrying water on her head in a rural village, regularly carrying heavy loads from an early age provides weight bearing exercise and strength at early age. Now, don't do that from the early age. Over the head. Do it just in yeah. Anyways, dietary alkalis. What's this? Yoruba diets has a high based alkaline content due to fruits and vegetables and the use of plant ash potash in cooking. Okay, plant ash potash. Okay, this is brought again, so this should be a nice thing. This helps neutralize dietary acids and reduce calcium loss from bones. Modern dietary science aligns with this. Potassium and magnesium from plantain, young, and leafy vegetables create an alkaline environment that protects bone density. In essence, the Yoruba menu of greens, yams, and beans, minerally processed minimally processed and rich in micronutrients, naturally graded against osteoporosis and keep bones strong in old age. Indeed, osteoporosis was originally rare. Okay, so maybe in this case, when you have a full alkaline life, maybe the diet can help. In our case, that we still put like supermarket stuff or highly processed stuff in our bodies, then making the food more alkaline won't make everything better. So first we have to reduce the acidity and then make sure the dietary have has this, because if you have dietary with this but then you add like whatever is not alkaline, then it makes no fucking sense. Sort of my language. Yeah, so the main idea after after the diet is to get to make sure you won't ever get toxins in the body. So it's not like a secret, it's the same thing all over again. Your body is a temple and you have to protect it. Muscle strength and fast twitch fibers, protein rich foods. The Yoruba diet, thought plant heavy, included ample protein to build muscle. Legumes like cowpeas and ground nuts were common staples providing plant protein. Many Yoruba dishes pair a starchy base like pounded yam or cornmeal, which with protein-rich soups full of ingredients such as goat meat, bush meat, fish or chicken, and enriched with ground melon seeds and locust beans. Okay, so a lot of protein in this case. This balance of carbohydrates for energy and protein for muscle reports support the strong muscular development. Notably, offal organ meats were highly valued. Organ meats. Dishes like pepper soup or stew often include the tripe shake, cow skin, and liver. Organ meats are dense in nutrients, iron, B vitamin, coenzyme Q10 that promotes muscle endurance and recovery. Eating collagen-rich cow skin and bone marrow soups provide the amino acids needed for robust connective tissues and muscle fiber repair. Natural steroids in yam. Okay, yams, jams, or the king of yams, were the king of crops of the Yoruba, celebrated in festivals. All right, that's good. Besides being a rich source of energy and potassium for muscle contraction, certain wild yam species contain diosgenin, a phytochemical that can act as a precursor to anabolic steroids. Yoruba did not insulate dysogene, but frequent consumption of yan, especially the bitter varieties in the past, was thought to give it strength. This may have had a mild hormonal effect, supporting muscle tone and male vigor. A skin to natural anabolic supports a hypothesis supported by the fact that diosgenin is used in modern medicine to synthesize steroid hormones. At the very last, the high potassium in yam provides muscle cramps, prevents muscle cramps, and the complex carbs provide sustained energy for muscle work. Okay, so because they needed to work a lot, they should add a lot of carbohydrates in to have them like spontaneous energy. And physical labor and sport. Culturally, the Yoruba placed high value on physical prowess. Young men engaged in indigenous wrestling and mock combat during festivals. Wrestling matches, such as those at the annual festival in Offa, required explosive power building, fast twitch muscle fibers in participants. Farming activities like hoeing and clearing land also build strength. Swinging a machete or hoe through dense brush is essentially high density intensity interval work for the upper body. Even everyday tasks like pound yam with a heavy mortar and vessels are strenuous and develop upper body muscle, strength and power endurance. Oral histories note that traditional Yoruba farmers were extremely muscular and could carry heavy loads or work long hours in the field without fatigue. Okay, martial traditions. In pre-colonial times, Yoruba armies and hunters guilds required rigorous physical training. Hunters would sprint after game in thick forests and engage in combat skills. Some lineages had warriors training where youths learned to handle swords, spears, and bows, further enhancing upper body strength and hand-eye coordination. While former martial arts weren't codified in writing, the ritualized mock battles and warrior dances, egun masquerade dances, including agile acrobatics, effectively trained fast-twitch muscles. These practices ensured that Yoruba men had well-developed musculature and could generate explosive force and advantages noted by colonial observers describing Yoruba porters and soldiers as exceptionally strong for their size. So I remember everywhere I have been, like in holiday and in as a show, we would have these amazing athletes from I believe African countries, very tall, very powerful, very explosive, doing triple flip, whatever things like that, handling themselves, the weights, yeah, very impressive. So the fact that they are still that is not that they have right now the best diet, is that before they always had like martial tradition and physical labor as as a day-to-day activity, like as practices. Like we play video games, they play martial traditions. So yeah, that makes more sense right now. And yeah, we know what we have to do to make it better. Stimulant herbs for energy. The Yoruba also use certain plants and tonics to boost stamina and muscle performance. Foremost amongst these in the kola nut is a caffeine-rich seed chewed in many ceremonies. Chewing kola nut prior to physical work provides a stimulant effect. Caffeine and theobromine increase alertness, reduce fatigue, and may enhance short-term strength output. It was common for laborers or warriors to chew kola for energy, ana- analogous to drink strong coffee. Another example is bitter cola or gobo garci Garcinia cola, which is rich in flavonoids. It is both a stimulant and anti-inflammatory. Men would chew bitter cola to get strength, and it likely improved circulation and reduced pain in joints, indirectly aiding muscle function. These natural stimulants, along with peppery spices in the diet, kept metabolism high. Peppery spices as well, very important. I've seen it all over the world. Like Asian people look so young because mostly I think the peppery spices. And the metabolism high and muscles primed for action. It is telling that modern analysis classifies cola not as an ergogenic aid due to its caffeine content. Okay, so it has caffeine as well. So endurance and natural aerobic fitness. Active daily life. The Yoruba traditionally led highly active lives. Almost everyone was engaged in manual occupation, farming, fishing, trading in the market, which involved walking long distances to trade routes, wearing pottery, etc. The constant movement built tremendous endurance. Women might walk miles in the river and back with water. Men trekked to farm plots and back, often multiple times a day. Even domestic tasks required stamina. Pounding yan and corn and could take an hour of rhythmic full body effort. This routine of low intensity, steady state exercise, walking, cultivating, mixing with burst with high intensity efforts, cutting trees, wrestling, dancing, creates excellent cardiovascular fitness. Heart and lungs capacities were strengthened from an early age, resulting in natural endurance. Oral accounts frequently mention people in the past who could walk for an entire day without exhaustion or day or night during festivals. Such feats were possible because of lifelong conditioning. Okay, so again, endurance they got from low intensity steady exercises plus high intensity, so like a full robust, so the day-to-day life would have to make low intensity because that's life, and they would do high intensity for pleasure or even for day-to-day as well. So trading games, traditional games and dances, the Yoruba have rich traditional of dance like bata dance, which can be very vigorous, and games that double as exercise. For instance, the Ayo game, Yoruba Makala played with seeds. Itself is a sedentary, but celebrations around it often include singing and clapping. More importantly, dance is integral in Yoruba social life. At weddings, festivals, or spiritual events, sustained dances can last hours. These aerobic activities, often done in the intense tropical heat, trains endurance. Like Likewise, masquerade dancers chase and entertain crowds, which can be physically demanding. Competitive wrestling matches in villages squares tested stamina as much as strength. Contestants had to grapple through multiple rounds, sometimes in the hot sun. Victory required not getting winded, so wrestlers developed superior conditioning. Right, herbal endurance tonics. Yoruba herbalists prepare tonic drinks for improving body strength and endurance, especially for warriors and hunters embarking on long expeditions. These tonics include ingredients like ginger and alligator pepper, both improve circulation and reduce fatigue, as well as honey and citrus for quick energy. One documented Yoruba herbal formula through primarily for digestive health, is known to invigorate the body and was sometimes taken to relieve fatigue, while specific recipes were often closely guarded. Common themes were bitter herbs to stimulate digestion and energy flow, and warming spices to boost metabolism and blood flow. By managing fatigue with botanical, the Yoruba could maintain energy during local, long physical tasks. Breath control and posture. Interestingly, Yoruba women developed the ability to carry loads on their head with minimal energy costs, balancing the load so well that they could walk long distance without significant strain. This skill learned from girlhood meant that carrying 20-30 kilos of goods did not overlay elevate their heart rate. Scientists has noted that experienced African head loaders show no increased energy expenditure for loads up to 20% of their body weight. This efficiency in load carriage is part of why Yoruba and other West African women historically could sustain such hard work. Their bodies adapted to the highly economical in energy use, a form of endurance optimization. Moreover, good posture from head carrying improved breathing and oxygen intake during exertion. Okay, so the oxygen intake, one of the other most important aspects in life. We are breathing 25 tons of oxygen every single day. So if you think that you're eating or drinking water more than you're breathing and needing oxygen, Yeah, you're mistaken. So fasting and resilience. While the Yoruba did not have institutionalized fasting like the Muslims in the north, periodic food scarcity or deliberate skipping of meal, for example during certain rituals or due to the farm work constraints, may have induced a form of intermediate fasting. This could enhance metabolic flexibility. Their bodies learn to efficiently switch to burning fat for energy sustaining endurance even when meals were irregular. Combined with a high fiber diet, this keeps insulin levels stable and promotes a high fat burning metabolism, further supporting endurance. And everything topped up with some fasting and keto diet, intermediate fasting, and then fat burning metabolism, which is there to grow it. So metabolic health, high metabolism, and low obesity. High fiber, whole food diet. The traditional Yoruba diet was high in complex carbohydrates and fiber and low in refined sugar and unhealthy fats. Staples like yam, cassava, mayas, plantain, and sorghum were eaten in minimally processed form, pounded, fermented, or boiled. They are slowly digested carbs that provide sustained energy without causing extreme insulin spike. All right, good, good, good. Very, very smart, very smart. We must check that. Meals were typically accompanied by generous servings of vegetables, soup, stew, rich in fiber from leafy greens, okra, eggplants, etc. One study reviving Nigerians' diet noted that historically they were high in carbohydrates and fibers and only moderate in fats. Okay, but with the intermediate fasting, they would start they would eat fat as well. This kind of diet boosts metabolism and satiety while preventing the weight gain associated with refined foods. Indeed, obesity were traditionally rare amongst the Yoruba. Most people remain lean all their lives due to the combination of diet and activity. Even in 21st century, rural Nigerians eating traditional diet have far lower obesity rates than urban Nigerians on modern diets. Obviously. So again, high fiber, whole foods, no processed, no sugars, one of the most important. Meal patterns. Culturally, Yoruba people did not snack frequently on high calorie junk food. Such foods did not exist. They ate two main meals a day, morning and evening, with perhaps a light snack at middle day from farm produce. They gave the body time to digest and avoid continuous insulin elevation. They also often ate fermented foods like gari, fermented cassava grit, and oji, which supplies probiotics. Recent research highlights that switching from a modern Western diet to a traditional African diet, high fiber and fermented foods can rapidly improve metabolic health within 2 weeks. Markers of inflammation decreased and metabolic pathways normalized. This underscores that Yoruba's plant-rich diet kept their metabolism efficient and inflammation low. Ting 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 ting. I'll read again. Recent research. So ChatGPT said that recent research highlight that switching from a modern Western diet to a traditional African diet high in fiber and fermented foods. Okay, so you don't have to have fully just the African diet. You should be high in fiber. You should have fermented foods. That's what they say. Can rapidly improve metabolic health within 2 weeks. Markers of inflammation decrease and metabolic pathways normalize. This underscoring that the Yoruba's plant-rich diet keep their metabolism efficient and inflammation low. Thermogenic spices. Yoruba's cuisine is famous for being spicy. Chili pepper is literally used in stews. Ginger and cayenne are used in medical teas. Cap Capsaicins from chili peppers has a thermogenic effect, slightly raising body temperature and metabolic rate. It also helps reduce appetite and improve fat oxidation, reduce appetite. All right. Thus, the love of spicy foods may have given Yoruba's people a metabolic boost and subtle metabolic boost and help prevent obesity. Similarly, the use of bitter herbs, bitter leaf, bitter cola can improve digestion and liver function, supporting a high metabolic rate. So spices, all right? Spices make the cut, make the thing for one of the best things you can actually ingest daily. Gut health and mitochondrial efficiency. I think this is big because I think what's most important in this big body is the small cells to be healthy, and that's the mitochondrial efficiency, the power to multiply and to regenerate. That's the mitochondrial efficiency of the cells. The probiotics from fermented foods like Iru Oji Nano and the high fiber intake fostered a healthy gut microbiome. A diverse microbiome reduces systematic inflammation and influences metabolism positively. This likely contributed to what we call mitochondrial diversity or metabolic flexibility. Yoruba's individuals could derive energy from both carbohydrates and fat effectively. With constant physical activity, their muscle cells developed higher mitochondrial density to meet energy demands. In essence, their traditional lifestyle naturally trained the mitochondria, the energy powerhouses of cells, to be very efficient. It's known that exercises induces mitochondrial biogenesis. Thus, Yoruba habits ensure strong mitochondrial function, supporting endurance and a lean physique. Modern studies observe that even a small, short term shift to a Western diet disrupts these metabolic pathways and increases inflammation, whereas the Yoruba's consistent traditional diet maintained metabolic health into old age. That's big. It's big. So fermented foods for the gut microbiome. It's important. Minimal processed foods, apart from occasional honey or the natural sugars in fruits like bananas, and Yoruba historically consumed almost no refined sugars. The absence of sugary drinks and desserts mean insulin sensitivity remained high, and type 2 diabetes was virtually non existent in traditional settings. Their primarily sweet indulgence was likely ripe fruit or palm wine, which, while sweet, is naturally fermented and rich in yeast and B vitamins. Palm wine is in moderation, which has a low alcohol content when fresh, could improve digestion and provided antioxidants like vitamin C and certainly B vitamins, further supporting metabolism. I have to drink something. Sorry. Skin resilience and anti-aging practices. Skin resilience and anti-aging practices. Natural emollients. Yoruba's people maintain skin health in natural oils and butters. A prominent traditional cosmetic in Ore is shea butter, extracted from the nuts of shea tree found in the savannah region. Shea butter is applied to the skin from infancy to keep it supple. It is rich in vitamin A and E and essential fatty acids, which promote skin's elasticity and healing. Regular use of shea butter creates a protective barrier against the harsh sun and dry winds, preventing skin cracking. In fact, Yoruba women used shea butter in making osedudu black soap. They sponify plantain peel ash with shea butter to produce a gentle, moisturizing soap. Amazing. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll keep that in mind. We'll make ChatGPT save that for us. This soap cleanses without stripping natural oils, and the residual shea butter, leaves the skin condition. The cinnamic acid contained in shea butter provides a mild UV protection, and its anti-inflammatory properties help soothe rashes or sunburn. Thus, Yoruba skincare kept the skin strong, hydrated, and resilient to infections or sun damage. It was noted that even with lifelong outdoor works, many elders have remarkably healthy skin. Many elderly. Okay, so another gem, shea butter, and in this case I have another gem, shea butter plus maybe something to make the body absorb better. Shea butter. So herbal baths and steams for certain skin ailments or simplify for rejuvenation. Yoruba's indigenous used herbal baths, leaves of plants like azardi, directa indica, neem, called dodogoyoro, would be boiled and the person would breathe in or steam with its infusion. So some leaves infusion in teas, we can breathe them. Neem has antiseptic and antifungal qualities, effectively managing skin infections and inflammation. Scent leaves contain eugenol, which can improve skin circulation. These baths acted like a spa treatment, cleansing the skin and improving its resilience to rashes, eczema, and insect bites. After childbirth, woman underwent steaming of the perineal area with aromatic herbs, a practice called sitz bath in modern terms, which not only aided healing but also kept skin elastic and less prone to scarring. Scarring. So neem infusion, teas, leaves, very, very, very important. Obvious and not so obvious in the normal world. Dietary skin nutrients. The Yoruba diet provided skin nutrients for skin scale health. Red palm oil, used in most soups, is extremely high in vitamin A, beta carotene, and vitamin E tocotrienols. Those are potent antioxidants that protect the skin from oxidative stress and supports repair. A typical serving of palm oil rich soup daily meant that even without systematic supplements, Yoruba people ingested plenty of skin loving vitamins, contributing to their characteristically growing, robust skin. Furthermore, the inclusion of nuts and seeds, melon seeds, ground nuts provided essential fatty acids that kept cells membrane healthy and skin hydrated from within. So leaves, nuts, and seeds. Body scarification and toughening. Culturally, some Yoruba subgroups practice scarification, small cuts in the skin for identifying or spiritual protection. While this might seem damaging, it inadvertently toughens the skin in those areas, much like how controlled stress can induce the skin to heal stronger. Additionally, the process required applying herbal pastes on the wounds, often containing antibacterial tree barks or powders like charcoal, which prevented infection. These results was not only decorative scars but skins that had been trained to resist injury. Moreover, the practices of applying heat through fire or hot water massages to the skin or muscles, especially in postpartum care, increased circulation and may have stimulated collagen repairs, keeping skin firm. Hygiene and infection control. The Yoruba placed emphasis on personal hygiene using natural means, which kept skin diseases at bay. They used chewing sticks from plants like Salvadora persica for dental hygiene and washed regularly with local soaps. They understood their value of fumigation, burning certain woods or resins, increase or cleansing herbs in living areas to repel mosquitoes and sanitize the environment. These prevented insect-borne skin infection and conditions like scabies, clay, and chalk were applied in ritual contexts to the skin. Interestingly, the white kaolin clay has drying and antibacterial properties and is used in modern skincare as well for treating rashes. In ritual painting, it may have doubled as protective mask for the skin against insects and excessive sun. Overall, Yoruba traditional practices kept the skin pH balanced through plant ashes and oils, microbiome health, and promoted wound healing, yielding resistant skin that could withstand a tropical climate and labor-intensive life. Amazing, amazing. They're just natural. They're 200 millions. They're just natural. Unfortunately, the life expectancy in Nigeria is not so big because, and that's weird stuff. They're the strongest, but the life expectancy is not so big. So there's a few more things that we need to carry besides the diet and whatever we do in our life day to day. There's so many other things that we avoid. We're gonna discuss them later. Right now, heart strength and cardiovascular health. Cardioprotective diet. Many elements of the Yoruba diet were beneficial for the heart. The high fiber intake from vegetables and soluble fibers from okra and beans helped lower the LDL cholesterol. Red palm oil, despite being a saturated fat, contained tocotrienols, a form of vitamin E which has been shown to improve cholesterol profiles and protect against it also has CoQ10, which supports heart muscle energy. The abundance of potassium in staples like plantain, yam, and leafy greens help to regulate blood pressure. Diets not highest in potassium and low in sodium are known to maintain healthy blood pressure and reduce strain of the heart. Traditionally, salt was a valuable commodity and used sparingly. Food was flavored more with spices and fermented condiments rather than the large amounts of salt. Thus, hypertension was uncommon in the past. Additionally, Yoruba past people consumed a variety of antioxidants from fruits, guava, oranges, mangoes were in season, and spices. For example, hibiscus subdarifa calices are brewed into a tart drink, zobo or sobo in Nigeria. Hibiscus drink is rich in anthocyanins and has been shown in studies to reduce pressure and improve heart health when consumed regularly. Yoruba didn't need a study to know its effects. Hibiscus tea was a known cooling, heart soothing beverage given to the overheated or hypertensive intensive individuals, even if they didn't use it for that term. Aerobic fitness. A discussed Yoruba lifestyle involved intense daily aerobic exercises, walking, dancing, farming. This lifelong conditioning meant the heart was exercised regularly and grew strong. A strong heart can pump more blood per beat. Higher stroke volume and resting heart rates were likely low, indicating good cardiovascular fitness. Even elderly people continued to stay active, often farming or walking to visit relatives daily, which kept their hearts engaged. In essence, exercise was built into culture, whether through work or pay, resulting in lower resting blood pressure and better circulation than sedentary lifestyles. Oral tradition might not mention heart disease as it was not a known concept, but the vigor and longevity of many elders suggest that heart failure or coronary disease was relatively rare to the tradition. Okay, rare traditional. Herbal cardiac remedies. Yoruba herbalists had treatments for symptoms we now associate with heart issues. Herbs for edema, fluid retention, herbs for palpitation or anxiety. One such plant is krate, kratova, whatever, used for edema or diuretic effect, easing the load of the heart. Another is allium sativum. Garlic is introduced via trade, which become a part of some remedies. Garlic is known to improve circulation and lipid profiles. Zigiber officiale ginger was locally grown and often combined with garlic and lemon in teas to clear the blood vessels. Indeed, ginger was vasodilatory effects can now modestly lower blood pressure. Even without knowing the term, Yoruba healers addressed hypertension with diet and herbs. A study in southwestern Nigeria found chronic use of hibiscus tea reduced hypertension and even reversed cardiac hypertension in rats, supporting its traditional use for heart health. The Yoruba concept of eat well always include lots of vegetables and herbs, which by default was a heart healing regimen. Stress and spirituality. Stress and spirituality. The mental stress can impact health, and the Yoruba had cultural mechanisms to manage stress through community music and spirituality. Drumming and dancing in festivals likely helped reduce stress hormones. Social support in the extended family system meant individuals rarely faced challenges alone. This social cohesion is associated with lower stress related illness. Also, practices like morning prayers or incantations could have a meditative stress effect, while not a direct physical practice. These aspects of Yoruba's life contributed to a resilient cardiovascular system by keeping chronic stress low, thus protecting the health from the damages of cortisol or hypertension in the long run. Dancing, music, obviously, that's the most spiritual, physical thing we can do. Inflammation control and healing rituals. Anti-inflammatory herbs. Yoruba Materia Medica includes many plants with anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties used to treat arthritis, locally called logbon, or rheumatism, and injuries. For example, Corpol Via lutea is used for rheumatism and arthritis. Its root infusion is taken to relieve joint pains. Uh, Aslotea bone bark is another famous remedy for muscular ashes, often soaked in palm wine to make a tonic. for back pain and inflammation. Ma- Mangifera indica bark and leaves were used in decoction to treat dysentery and also as a compress for swelling. These remedies often contain salicylic acid or other compounds that reduce inflammation, akin to modern aspirin. A survey in Ibadan documented dozens of plants for arthritis and swelling, reflecting how seriously Yoruba took inflammatory ailments. Notably, Costus afer, a tall herb called tete egun or kanda in Yoruba, is used to wrap food and also in medical medicine for its anti-arthritic effects. Pharmaceutical studies confirm Costus afer has anti-inflammatory activities and is used for rheumatoid arthritis in folk medicine. By consuming or applying this botanical, Yoruba people managed inflammation from injuries or wear and tear, maintaining mobility. Dietary anti-inflammatories. The food itself was medicine in many cases. Bitter leaf is a common vegetable in Yoruba soups. It contains andro, whatever, and other components that are strongly anti-inflammatory and hepatoprotective. Likewise, turmeric and curry introduced spices found their way into some Yoruba recipes in 1920 centuries. They were embraced in the health benefits. More indigenously, cloves and negro pepper are spices used especially in postpartum pepper soup that they analgesic and anti-inflammatory effects, helping new mothers recover by reducing uterine inflammation and muscle soreness. The high antioxidant content of leafy greens, fruits, and herbs in the Yoruba diet help keep systemic inflammation low. A modern study comparing diets noted that adopting a modern diet high in processed foods triggered a pro-inflammatory state, whereas a traditional American African diet high in fiber and spices keeps inflammation in check. This aligns with Yoruba experience inflammatory conditions like asthma, allergies, or autoimmune issues were relatively uncommon historically, likely because their diet and environment were rich in natural anti-inflammatory agents. Heat therapy and massages. Traditional Yoruba healing includes massages and steam therapy. For some muscles or arthritis, healers might vigorously massage the area with hot water or herbal oils. One practice for chronic back pain was to rub the affected area with shea butter mixed with pepper and ginger, and then apply warm cloth, effectively a capsaicin-like rub that increased blood flow and reduced pain. Another is the sweat bath or steam hut, sitting in a small enclosure with steaming herb to induce profuse sweating. This is analogous to a sauna and can reduce inflammation by eliminating toxin and relaxing muscles. Postpartum partum women undergo a cold called anu jiga, where their abdomen and limbs are massaged daily with hot water. This helps the uterus contract and reduce swelling inflammation from childbirth. Through such means, Yoruba people harness heat and circulation to heal injuries and control chronic inflammatory issues without modern drugs. Ritual for healing. Beyond the physical, Yoruba also performed rituals they believed would prefer, strengthen, or heal illness, which often had psychosomatic benefits. For example, in some communities, when a child was lethargic or frequently ill, they performed the Ipasan sacrifice for vitality, involving baths and concoctions of potent herbs and small animal sacrifice. The child would then wear a jar with bits of those herbs. Psychologically, the ritual could reduce paternal anxiety, and the positive attention might support the child's recovery. A placebo effect plus actual herb benefits for adults. Rituals involving Ogun, god of iron, and Songo, god of thunder, were done by warriors to invoke strength and courage. Participants often consumed a preparation including the ashes of burnt herbs or even charred bones rich in calcium as an ordeal medicine. Through modern media might deem consuming charred organic material or animal parts as toxic or taboo. In controlled ritual context, in Yoruba found that effective is for the intended purpose. Consuming a ground charred bone mixture rich in calcium and phosphate when someone had a bone injury symbolically to replace what is lost might actually provide nutrients for healing. Lifestyle and low chronic inflammation. Finally, the generally active, communal, and low stress lifestyle of traditional Yoruba was itself a bulwark against chronic inflammation. We now know that sedentary behavior and loneliness can increase inflammatory markers. In Yoruba villages, people were almost never alone. Their sense of community and regular physical work kept their immune and immunitory systems well regulated. Even the gut parasites they harbored in small loads might have trained their immune system. Ironically, minimal hygiene by modern standards can sometimes mean fewer autoimmune issues. The hygiene hypothesis. In any case, Yoruba methods, from bitter tonic drinks into spiritual cleansing, all contributed to keeping inflammation acute and short-lived, for fighting infection but not chronic. And now we have a big list of whatever we read. Table 1: Yoruba traditional food and herbs supporting physical. Euro bitter leaf green cooked in soups or as tonic drinks. Anti-inflammatory and detoxifying. Soup reduced inflammation in joints. Calcium for bone health. Ori, kaun, and all of them. We already read them. Uh, yeah, let's actually do some more reading. Ori for the skin, shea butter moisturizing and protection for the skin. Shea butter is protection of the skin, contains vitamin E. Potash added for soups, potassium. Uh, Jesus ground into paste and infusion for fractures. Coconut chewed raw. Bitter cola chewed as remedy. Alright, cool. Palm oil cake, chili pepper, neem leaves, locust beans. Igbo traditional health practices, southeastern Nigeria. The Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria shared some similarities with the Yoruba in diet and lifestyle, but also the yam-based agriculture, but also have distinct foods, herbs, and cultural practices. Igbo lands are in the rainforest belt with farming, especially yam and cassava, fishing in the rivery areas, and renowned wrestling traditions that emphasize strength. The Igbo traditionally valued Igbo Ike to be strong both in individual physique and community vigor. We will examine how Igbo traditional foods, physical activities, and medicine fostered strong bones, lean muscular bodies, and endurance and overall health. bone density and strength. Yam-centric diet and bone nutrients. The Igbo are famously known for the Yam people. The yam is their staple and even a measure of wealth. Yams are rich in potassium and contain some calcium and phosphorus, all important for bone strength. Beyond jams, Igbo diets feature plenty of green vegetables like ugu, fluted pumpkin leaves, ora, African bitter leaves, and ukazi, af- afak leaves cooked into soups. Fluted pumpkin leaves, in particular, are high in iron and calcium and have traditionally been used as a blood tonic for anemic individuals, common for postpartum women to rebuild blood. This nutrient boost also aids bone marrow and overall bone health. Igbo soups often include crabs, periwinkles, or small fishes, which are eaten whole. These provide calcium from shell bones and magnesium. For example, in the Delta Igbo areas, a soup called efe, where it mixes assorted seafood and meat with greens, a calcium and protein-rich feast for the bones. Calcium from unusual sources. A unique Igbo practice is the consumption of enzu, a type of edible clay kaolin that pregnant women and some other eat in small quantities. While modern medicine warns that some clay contain contaminants, traditionally nuzu was used in quell nausea and is actually rich in calcium and other minerals. Igbo women who craved enzu during pregnancy were likely supplemented needed calcium for fetal bone development. This form of geographic earth eating through viewed within caution today did provide an extra mineral source historically. Additionally, Igbo might add burnt nail shells and potash to certain dishes. It's used to dishes like abcha, salad, and okwa porridge to improve texture. In doing so, it is also contributed dietary potassium and trace minerals that support bone metabolism. Wrestling. I'm all read about wrestling, not quite interested. Work and play with strength and bones. I understood that very well. Health bones also have traditional bone setters, literally bone doctors. These practitioners use splints made of bamboo raffia and secure them with tight rods, often along herbal plasters of pounded leaves to reduce pain or swelling. Some plants used by Igbo bone setters overlap with the Yoruba. Sisus grangula grows in the region and is known locally as well. Some call it bone medicine. Additionally, Jatropa curcas leaves are heated and applied to fractures or dislocations to reduce inflammation and purportedly draw the bones together. The Igbo understanding of bone healing included in the idea that some herbs could enter the bone to strengthen it, and one documented Igbo ethnomedicine survey found anti-arthritic remedies involving Lankokarap and Lararap. Those are traditionally used to treat rheumatic arthritis and body pains. In clinical observations, Igbo herbalists gave those to patients and they showed reduction in swelling pain. This indicates the Igbo medical knowledge targeted bones and joint health effectively. The use of Castus afur in particular as an anti-inflammatory for joints is well established. Strong bones are not just about minerals but also about healthy joints and ligaments. Igbo herbs address the whole muscular skeletal system, keeping people mobile and robust. Muscular strength and power. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's what I said to ChatGPT. I have free time and I want a big lecture. I didn't expect it this big, this comprehensive, this well structured, this well explained. I love it. You can write books with ChatGPT. Incredible. new books that has never been written because you put it for a deep research that has never been made. Muscular strength and power, protein from land and water. The Igbo did not traditionally raise cattle. Tsetse files made that difficult in the forest though. Tsetse flies. Muskatse. Okay, the fly. The tsetse. Okay. But they got protein from many sources: goat, chicken, game animals, fish, seafood, from numerous rivers or delta Igbo. A typical Igbo meal, say fufu with ora soup, would include smoked fish, chunks of meat, and dried bush meat and crayfish, dried shrimp powder, and seasoning. This provided a high protein intake to support muscle maintenance. Notably, the Igbo relish for bushmeat meant that even rural folks often had access to lean wild protein, richer in micronutrients than farm meat. For example, grass-cutter meat is very high in protein and low in fat. It was a prized delicacy. These proteins, along with the companion staples of yam cassava for crops, created a diet ideal for building lean muscle mass. Cassava and fermented protein. Cassava is a major crop source, but by itself has limited protein. To balance this, the Igbo often combine cassava-based swallows with protein-rich soups. They also ingeniously fermented oil-rich seeds to create oriri or ojiri, fermented castor oil seed paste. Okay, and upa, fermented African oil bean slices, or ojiri and ogba are flavor enhancers packed with proteins and amino acids released by fermentation. For instance, ugba is about 40% protein and fermentation makes it more digestible. These fermented condiments can be considered traditional protein supplements, adding umami and nutrition to vegetable soups. Thus, even a mostly vegetarian soup, say one made of pumpkin leaves and palm oil, becomes protein fortified with a few spoonfuls of ojiri. This ensures Igbo villagers got ensured protein to build and repair muscle even if they could not afford meat daily. The result was that Igbo farmers and laborers had well-muscled physiques observed by early European. One account from the 19th century noted Igbo men were muscular and agile, a result of abundant vegetable nutrition and constant exercise. Wrestling culture, strength and muscle size were directly celebrated in Igbo culture. Yeah, wrestling. We skip the wrestling part. Labor, we skip the labor. That's in the sports. Stimulus and adaptogens. The Igbo, like the Yoruba, valued kola nut. Oji. In Igbo culture, oji is sacred. Used to welcome guests and also chew during long meetings or work to prevent tiredness. Cola's caffeine gave Igbo workers an edge in sustaining muscle output during long hours of toil. Additionally, certain adaptogenic plants were known, for instance, Gongronema latifolium. Utazi leaves is a bitter aromatic vine used as spice and medicine. Utazi is given to the elderly or weak. It has been shown to have blood sugar regulating and antioxidant effects, possibly helping recovering and endurance. While not directly muscle building, these herbs provide overall vitality, meaning Igbo laborers could train, work harder, and thus building more muscle. Igbo lore also speaks of Mama Agu and attributes it to both inborn chi spirit and what one eats. The game Emam Agu, some wrestlers secretly ate that flesh of a leopard they killed. Leopard hunting was a route to manhood in Igbo culture, conferring the title Odum Oba, leopard killer. Consuming such a powerful animal was believed to transfer its strength. Modern perspective might see this as a symbolic, but animal organs do certain creatine and amino acids. Eating them could leave a nutritional benefit. In any case, the cultural emphasis on strength meant many practices, dietary and ritual, were aimed at maximizing muscle power, endurance, and stamina. This is the walking, wrestling again, fasting, medicinal plants, metabolic roots, medicinal plants again, or fasting. Interesting. Let's see. And adaptation to heat and humidity. Southwestern Nigeria is hot and humid. Igbo people historically labored bare chested or in minimal clothing, fully exposed to the elements. Over generations, their bodies adapted to effectively cool via sweat and maintain performance in heat. This kind of heat acclimatization improves endurance as the cardiovascular system becomes adept at shunting blood to the skin for cooling while still supplying muscles. It's no surprise many outstanding long distance runners through more from savanna regions have genetic ties to West Africa. The Igbo certainly had the environment conditioning for endurance. That's a saying. The snake is strong and fire hit longest to the people being tempered by a harsh climate to become tougher. Fasting and resilience. The Igbo traditionally have practices after a death or during serious events called Isu Enso, a kind of solemn fast or avoidance of certain foods while primarily spiritual. It meant individuals sometimes went lighter on meals for a period. This mild intermediate fasting, as with Yoruba, could lead to improved metabolic efficiency. Igbo warriors or hunters might also fast or eat lightly before a big hunt fight, believing it keeps them agile. In practice, not being weighed down by heavy food, and having a body used to drowning on fat stores would improve one's endurance in a crisis. Medical plants for endurance. Igbo herbal knowledge include tonics with increased blood and fight fatigue. One example is locally when prepared as a drink similar to Yoruba zobo. Igbo folks would drink it chili with spices like ginger as a restorative after working in the sun. Another is Garcinia cola, where noted its stimulant properties. In Igbo land, it's common for an elder on a long walk to intermittently chew bitter cola to starve off thirst and hunger. In enabling them to keep going longer. Moreover, the high nitrate leaves vegetables in the Igbo diet, like beets leaves, garden eggs leaves, could have the modern known effect of improving nitric oxide in the blood, thereby enhancing endurance by better oxygen delivery. So, through diet and occasional fasting, the Igbo maintain a high level of endurance fitness needed for both daily lives and exceptional feasts, metabolic health, and low incidence of obesity. Roots, vegetables, and glycemic loads equal staples. Yam, cocoyam, cassava are high carb but with a low glycemic index when eaten with fiber. Okay, okay, another gem. So if you eat carbs, they should be with low glycemic index and eaten with fibers. The Igbo rarely ate just the refined starch. For example, fufu, pounded cassava or yam, is eaten with the fibrous vegetable soups, which slows glucose absorption. Traditional cocoyam-based porridge is mixed with vegetables and oils, making it a low insulin response meal. This meant Igbo people historically had low rates of diabetes or metabolic syndrome. The fiber in their diet from vegetables, fruits like garden eggs and nuts keep their gut microbe healthy and metabolism active. When British researchers in the mid 20th century surveyed Nigerian communities, they found that rural Igbo had very low average body fat and high insulin sensitivity, attracted to their high fiber, low sugar diet, as well as genetics. But genetics, you can't change that. You can only change the past, the present. Feast and famine cycles. Igbo agrarians' lives had cycles, times of harvest abundance and times when food was less varied. This naturally leads to a form of calorie cycling during yam harvest. There was plenty and people feasted. New Yam Festival is literally a celebration of abundance with yam served, but by late planting season, old yam stores were low on new harvest, not yet in, so diet tightened. Many more vegetables, less yam, or reliance on cassava, which is available year round but not as calorically dense. When processed traditionally, these cycles prevented continuous caloric surplus. The body periodically experienced slight deficits that would result in insulin sensitivity and keep fat storage minimal. Culturally, too, gluttony was frowned upon. Eating was communal, and everyone had to ensure others got a share. This social moderation meant obesity, then seen phrased as extreme prosperity or a disease, was seldom observed. Rich biodiversity in diet. Igbo cuisine is very diverse in ingredients. Proverb: one who has many ingredients is not a poor cook. In a given week, an Igbo family might eat yam, cassava, cocoyam, plantain, and maize, and soups made with leaves of ocasia, uziza, onubu, ukawa, and more, plus various meats or fish. This nutritional diversity ensures a wide array of vitamins and minerals supporting all effects of metabolism, particularly the equal consumption of palm oil and palm kernel oil, provided healthy fats and vitamin A, which are important for hormone production and metabolic regulation. Even the oil from the African oil bean used in ukba is a healthy fat. By not restricting themselves to one staple, they avoid the nutrients deficiencies that could slow metabolism. So, rich biodiversity is important. Lean body ideal. Socially, the ideal male physique in Igbo culture was lean and muscular, as evidence to sculptures and masquerades depictions of virile men, and the ideal female physique was robust but not obese, strong for farm work and many pregnancies. There wasn't a cultural drive to become plump as a status symbol, unlike some other cultures. Thus, from youth, Igbo children were encouraged to play, exercise, and not overheat. A chubby child might even be playfully teased to be sent to the farm more, had more work as a core value, as its side effect was keeping people trim. So socially is important as well. Keeping your friends around you thin, that they have thin mentality to keep their bodies healthy is so important. Modern confirmation. Modern studies in Nigeria show that traditionally living Igbo communities had amongst the lowest obesity rates in the country until very recently, as low as 3 to 5 in some rural surveys. I actually have an idea right now, so should remember where we are. We're gonna let ChatGPT do some more research about this old research. So let's see what we get after. It's crazy. How can I make a bookmark? Metabolic health and low incidence of obesity. Metabolic health and low incidence of obesity. We are here. All right. And now I have to copy everything. It's a lot. I can't wait to read everything. I just feel like reading after ChatGPT makes some research. Makes it such a good book, like an unwritten book already, an undiscovered book. So ooh, look what's here. Look what's here. Brand new info. Brand new info from a simple prompt in my head. My idea of mixing so whatever. Crazy, crazy. Okay. Here we are, and then we go ChatGPT and deep search, and let's go. It doesn't want to read this much. It's too much for it because it's too much. Let's keep just one. Just the Igbo, just the Yoruba people, not the entire. We're gonna give it the maximum number of characters allowed to search on ChatGPT. I'm gonna Utazi, Utazi. Okay, yep. Making another research here. Now let's go back to reading. People rarely ate just a refined starch. Low rates of diabetes or metabolic syndrome, the fine fiber in their diet from vegetables, fruits like garden eggs and nuts keep their gut microbiome healthy and metabolism active. When British researchers in mid 20th centuries surveyed Nigerian communities, they found that rural Igbo had very low average body fat and high insulin sensitivity attributed to the high fiber low diet. Yeah, I read that. A lean body will that actually mother confirmations. Other studies in Nigeria show that traditionally living Igbo communities had amongst the lowest obesity rates in the country until very recently, as low as 3 to 5% in some rural areas surveyed, where urban rates are much higher. They underscores that the Igbo ways of life, a regular physical activity, high fiber variety diet, portion control, and periodic scarcity maintained a high metabolic rate and low obesity prevalence. Then influx of processed foods and sedentary jobs is what he introduced higher obesity in recent times and not predisposition. In fact, shifting an urban equal person back to their traditional diet can yield significant health improvements in ways the metabolism reflecting how effective the diet is. Use of bitters and herbs. The Igbo are known of aqua and guano, talking bitters herbs to clean their stomach. Herbal's concoctions made from bitter leaves, uzizia seeds, ginger, and spices are taken to relieve bloating or cold in the body. These likely acted as digestive aids and metabolism boosters. Bitter herbs stimulate bile flows and improve digestion of fats, preventing metabolic sluggishness. For example, chewing a bit of Uda negro pepper or alligator pepper ojioku after a heavy meal is a practice to avoid indigestion. It incidentally also increases blood heat and may make one more active rather than lethargic after eating. Such habits kept the equal metabolism from getting lazy. Good job. So some spices to go to up from the table to give him more energy. Right. Let's take a break for a while. right back.